Hello and welcome to Michi Designs. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful Ankara fascinator on this baby's head. So let's get started. So we're using breast wadding for this tutorial, the strongest one, the strong breast wadding. So I'm going to cut out this circle, this plastic circle that I'm holding. I'll mark it and cut it out. I already cut out the circle. So I placed this wadding on fold and cut out 2 pieces each. We actually need 2 circles for this tutorial. So I'm going to use my iron and iron 2 pieces each together to make it a bit bulky, so I can use my 2 circles for this tutorial. So then after that, we're going to cut out our circle on the Ankara fabric by extending the circle that we already cut out by 2 inches wide. Now we're going to wrap this breast wadding with this Ankara fabric. So we need the Ankara fabric to be wider. We're extending it by 2 inches. That's what I'm marking here right now. After marking the 2 inches, I'll cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out right now. I'm going to cut out 2 circles of the Ankara fabric to wrap our cap or fascinator, as the case may be. So I'm going to use it to wrap it. So I have cut out 2 circles with the Ankara fabric. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to get the midpoint of this cap, this fascinator, and I'll do that by folding it into 4. I'll first of all fold it into 2. After folding it into 2, I'll fold it into 2 again, making it into 4. See the way I'm folding it? I fold into 2, I'll now fold into 2 again. Then I'll mark the midpoint. The midpoint is already there. I'll mark it. When I open it up, I'll see the crease line, and then I'll connect with my ruler. I'm going to mark 4 points on this circle. I'll divide the circle into 4. I'm going to repeat the same step for the second circle. So I'll get the midpoint, I'll mark it. Following the crease line, I'll divide my circle into 4 equal parts from the midpoint. So I'll get the center of the circle, and then after that, I'm going to mark 2 lines to the midpoint, 2 dot lines to the midpoint. I'm using 0.75 inches on each side of the dot. I'll connect to the midpoint. You can use half an inch, and you can use 1 inch as well, depending on how curvy you want your fascinator to look. Your cap, the cap side, how curvy you want it. So I'm okay with 0.75 inches. So I'm going to cut out this dot. I'm going to cut it open. We're removing the dot from the cap. So I'm going to do the same for the second cap too. So after cutting it open, I'm going to glue it back, the cap back, using my gum. You can see the shape is taking. It's looking curvy already, but I don't want it too curvy. If you really want it to be, the curve to be really obvious, you can use 1 inch on even more than that for your dart. So after cutting it, after gluing it back, I'm going to place another glue round the cap, and then I'll wrap it with the Ankara fabric. This particular glue I'm using to wrap it round, I got it from people that sell gum to shoemakers, shoemaking shops. You can get this glue. This is the type of glue that shoemakers use. You can get it in the market. So I'm going to wrap the second one too, placing my glue on it, and then I'll wrap it with the Ankara. After wrapping the two caps, I'm going to now glue the two caps together. So I will place more glue inside the center where the Ankara did not wrap, and then I'll put the glue around the Ankara too on one of the caps, and then I'll go and glue it back to the second cap, the wrong side facing each other, so that it's only the right sides that will be seen outside, both in and out. So I've glued them together now. I'm trying to secure the glue well. This fascinator is purely handmade. There's no stitching here from beginning to end. It's purely handmade. So I'm trying to make sure that the glue sticks them together, and then I'm folding in any rough edge so it will look neat. After ensuring that the cap is well glued, I will now use these trimmings to cover up that space between the two caps so it doesn't look rough, since we're not going to do any sewing on it. Even if we do any sewing, it will still look, the sewing will still show outside. So the best thing is to use trimmings to cover up that space. I'm gluing the trimmings, the lace trimmings, to round the cap. Trimming of the excess there, and then we're done with this. So the next thing is I have another trimming with me here that I'm going to use it. If you have this feathers like trimming, you can use it, but this is the one I have here, so I'm going to use it, and it matches the color of the Ankara. I just glued it at the midpoint of that cap. After that, I'm sewing an elastic rope, neck rope to it. I'm using hand to sew it, to do the elastic stitching on it. It's hand sewing, so you don't need a sewing machine to make this fascinator. Just to stitch the neck rope with an elastic to it, and then the fascinator is ready. So easy. This is something you can actually do even if you don't know how to sew. You don't need to be an experienced fashion designer to make this. It's so easy and so beautiful. This is the final look of the fascinator. It's so beautiful. Kindly subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.